9,000 subscribers live stream, because that happened today. And already I see Valerio. Thank you very much for your super chat right in the beginning. Thank you every time for your Brexit updates, Mark. You're very welcome, Valerio. The fun thing is, for some reason, I always have to update my screen when I start. We are very early, but still I saw some people in the chat already. Hi Leonard, first of all, newest member of my channel. The Ministerian, hi there. Hi Eddie Munster, no, Eddie Munster. Greetings to the USA. Munster is almost like my hometown Münster, where I'm filming from. Son of Viking, got your question. I didn't know what question you meant. I haven't answered last week. Perhaps you can tell me later. And Jean-T, welcome. Hi Dude, hi Dano. Greetings to Denmark. Hi David. To Hong Kong. That's an early bird. Great. I love doing this live streams. It's quite nice doing this every now and then. I do it on Sundays because then usually I have time to do this. Next week I'll have a lot of appointments again with my voluntary politics stuff, and so I chose that date. Sometimes when Carnival and stuff like this starts, I might have to skip a Sunday or two, because on the time there probably will have to be too partied. But still I received a number of questions again. I haven't seen Christian yet. He sent me another pack of questions again, and that's what I'm starting with again. I will answer question, then I got two topics I thought that are important at the moment, because they're going around quite a bit. There's a lot of false propaganda on either side there, and so that's why I want to talk about that a bit. Is that only Dude, or do more people have static there? It's always a little bit complicated to put my microphone on a sweatshirt. So if anybody else but Dude also has this, I have to lower it a bit. But if it's only Dude, I'm sorry. It's not from here. You can... Okay, then I put it a little down. That's the thing when I'm not wearing my jacket. If it's now still static, it's quite far away from my mouth now. Then I'll need another microphone once again. The other one broke already, and it's the fourth, I guess. So, but let's get back to the question. Hi, Christian. I was just talking about you because I'm already starting with one of your questions again, but that's an easy one. If Scotland or Northern Ireland leaves the Union, will nations like Australia or New Zealand have to change their flag as well, since the Union Jack flag will no longer exist? The easy part is they don't have to do anything. It's their choice what flag they have, and New Zealand was, I guess, the vote on the New Zealand flag that was 2016. If I don't know if somebody from New Zealand is here, I guess it was 2016 with the new flag. They first made a kind of a referendum on which flags will be in the choice against the current flag, and then they had a referendum if they pick the new one. It was a close race as far as I remember, and they decided to keep the old one by a close margin. But anytime they can change that, but they also can decide to keep the old one for traditional reasons, whatever. It's always their choice. There is no rule that you are not allowed to use whatever, as I'm aware of, because those are independent sovereign nations and they decide what flag they want to have. That's the reason why we have some flags on this planet that are quite similar to each other, and sometimes very puzzling, like with all very small changes in the color of the flags, because it's still blue but it's a little different blue and stuff like this. So that's why I always am amazed between Romania and some African countries, between Luxembourg and the Netherlands and so on and so on. so they can decide themselves. So that was a start with an easy question. But before I forget for later, I need my pen. Then another one from Christian. I always work them up in the way they came in. As I understand it, the Isle of Man has made a deal on fisheries independent from the EU, from the UK. EU deal, first step in joining the EU and leaving the UK. To be honest, I haven't heard about that one, and I, on purpose, didn't look that up now for today, because I only look stuff up if I need some certain formulations out of EU law. But maybe some, I don't know if any one of you have heard about this. First of all, I don't think they can do this, but there was some special treatment for them all the time anyway. But there is a certain difference in some other parts that's still part of the UK, like Gibraltar, for example. They have done single deals, but all with the permission of Westminster. For remaining in the Schengen area, so they don't have the trouble with the workers from either side working in Spain or in Gibraltar and stuff like this. But it never was anything they did completely independently from Westminster. Yeah, dude, you still have another chance to do that. And by the way, the Isle of Man, and then there also the discussion about, I think it was Orkney, for example, was separating from Scotland and then joining back to the UK if Scotland regains independence and stuff. There are really different topics in that. Scotland itself was an independent nation. That's why I always say that the comparison between Scotland and Catalonia doesn't work. Catalonia never really was an independent nation, and the same goes for this part of Orkney. Maybe some thousand years ago they were, when the United Kingdom, or England even, was hundreds of kingdoms. But I don't think that you can go that far back in time to justify anything. And then, son of Viking. I have to get it a little bit sorted here, because once again you sent a very long question. The same goes for Katrina. I haven't seen her yet, but we'll have to have the same later as well. It's always hard to answer this in a live stream. If it's not, that's mostly topics for whole videos. And this is about the EU service providers, that there's an ECJ ruling that they have no liabilities to UK clients anymore based on EU law. And if the same goes with the UK operators. There's some basic treatment for services, if they happen, with exclusions in the annexes of the TCA. Son of Viking, I don't know if you have read all the annexes. There's about 100 pages of exclusions in the TCA just for services. And that makes this topic extremely complicated and makes it impossible to give a general answer, because there's, as I said, 100 pages with exclusions of services from certain regulations of the TCA and from certain exceptions of the TCA. And so you cannot generalize any of this you have in your short question. And so I can just say you can't generalize it. You have to really pick certain parts. You have to browse through this annexes. You waded through them, you say, and so you really have to have a look on the single services you're talking about. If you waded through them, you've seen that it is 100 pages just of exceptions for services. And so I can't give you a general answer on this one. And of course, the other point, I won't read that out all, but you have another point that there are changes by Brexit because of higher costs with visa requirements, restricted movement, other new fees involved. Does that have effect on those contracts? And to be honest, in the court here, you probably will get through this, because with all the extension gaming on Brexit and a lot of son of I'm talking about this, that they can say, because of all I listed previously, that they don't have to honor their contracts. And courts here would probably say yes, because of all the extensions. Nobody really could know when Brexit really happens. And when Corona came in, even the decision last June not to extend the transition period was not as definite as it would have been in other times, because of Corona, everybody could still expect, especially with the behavior of Johnson beforehand, that you might see an extension at the end of the year if they didn't have the TCA on the 24th of December. You might have seen a sudden extension with they could bring the TCA through the House of Commons within one day. If they can do this, they could have had a change of law in the House of Commons within one day that kicks out the blocking of the extension out of the law that was written into the law. But if they can get a TCA in one day through, they could have gotten that out within one day, and we still could have gotten an extension. So no one could really guarantee what was happening. And so nobody can really say we all knew on January 1st it's over. Even on December 23rd, we didn't know that. And so you probably can get out of those contracts without a problem, because the costs are completely different from what they were before. And the UK services sector is something I will talk about this later, especially the financial sector, because there's a lot of stuff going around on the internet at the moment. Oh boy. So then I have a question from Valerio. Thank you again for the super chat in the beginning. Hi Mark, because of Brexit now British carriers are not allowed to cabotage within EU members. Do you think that in the logistics and transport business many employees will lose their job? I have, to be honest, have not read the statistics how many transports have been done in the UK by EU hauliers, because they were there already anyway, and by UK hauliers in the EU while they were transporting the stuff there. So you have to know those numbers, if they just even out each other when with everything that happened now. If the UK hauliers that were working in the EU before as well can now do all the jobs in the UK, and the same goes for the EU, that what UK drivers did here can now UK drivers do that. So I can't tell you how many jobs might be lost, because you have to know those exact figures for that. And to be honest, I never took care of those. It's a bit too detailed. There's so many detailed things affected by Brexit that you can't keep track of everything. But because of the numbers involved, I think that will be just another part where there will be job losses, because there probably is not that much to transport as before anyway. And you connect that with the possibility the loss of jobs in these business will be partially covered in customs business, for example working for customs agents. That is a thing a little bit similar to the thing we just change our supply chains, or we will just get our stuff from somewhere else, I usually hear. You can't just put lorry drivers into customs or retrain them for customs agents. First of all, many of them will find a way around that. They want to stay in their job, and you can't just tell people have a different job and I tell you which one. It's really not that easy. And the customs business, I'm quite sure that will be a job that very few people will voluntarily do. That could be an issue too. And I really don't know what it is with the statics today, because I was filming earlier today already and the microphone is plugged in as usual. And it's the same microphone I use, but the only thing can be that it's just broken. Well, we have to live with that right now. And Valerio also said, I don't consider new jobs, doesn't consider the new 50,000 new customs officers because of the cost for British taxpayers. Well, that's the estimate the government said they need. And don't forget, we are still in a position where the UK government is not doing the checks at their borders at the moment. They are in a transition for that until June. And it will really be fun when that gets started. Valerio, maybe you are too electric today. Yeah, perhaps I'm completely charged, I don't know. And then I left in a question from one of these Brexiteers that always come up. You try to mock me with that, but still I want to talk about that one. If it's the shirt, I apologize, but I can't get changed right now. I won't do that to any of you now with my Corona-Plauze. I talked about the German words a few days ago. How long can the German people keep bailing out Spain, Italy and Greece before they say we have had enough? First of all, Germany is not bailing out Spain, Italy and Greece all the time. The Corona Fund we have now, the Recovery and Resilience Fund, is something unique, and half of it is loans and not more. And to be honest, people complained a lot more about some things during the crisis in Greece and bailing out some of our own banks than anyone is complaining about the Recovery and Resilience Fund, because except some extreme left-wing and extreme right-wing idiots, no one is complaining about this, because that we have now the Resilience and Reconstruction Fund is a really good thing. And by the way, even Germany is receiving money from that, even if we have we will be paying more than others, but we also are paying more for the new budget anyway. To be honest, if I calculated that correctly, we are paying as much as the British have paid in net payment at their time. So, and nobody complained here about that either. So that will not be a reason for anyone here to say we have it enough. And people are not that much interested in politics. It's the same in every country. Only a certain number of people is interested at all. The general public doesn't really care about all those details. And that's the same all over the world. And in Germany, those people who are at least a little bit interested, they know that especially Germany really benefits from being a member of the European Union, and that Germany, even if it pays a lot of money into the European Union, gains much more by trade And so nobody's complaining here, except some small exceptions like the AFD or stuff like this, but those, I don't even comment on them. So Germany is so far away from being Eurosceptic in the whole population. Forget it. And I just saw something from Reale Zahl. Did you hear about the Guardian citing the Bild Zeitung? Yeah, first of all, we have some really nice stickers here when the Bild Zeitung from time to time is handing out free Bild Zeitungs. We have stickers for our post boxes here, so they don't. Yes, I know, and I heard about that, and I'm mentioning that in a video tomorrow. So look forward to this tomorrow. It will be, by the way, my 6 p.m. video tomorrow, and I'm talking about another topic where I, in the end, got that I was quite preaching a bit. That's why I picked one of the topics for later on today as well. Clemens, I tried that several times already. For some reason, it doesn't work today. I'm wearing this sweater for the live streams all the time, but today, for some reason, there is a problem with it. And first of all, let's have a quick look again. Now there are far more people here, not all in the chat, but some I haven't seen yet. Hi Clemens, hi Dermot, hi Enzo the God, hi Franita, hi Giovanni Ali. Glasgow, nice to see you. Reale Zahl, I talked to already. Hi Wolfgang. Hi Katrina, I was mentioning you before, but I was still on the Brexit here thing. No, so, but that's the general thing. I had some idiotic comments today as well that Sweden is preparing exit referendum and some more. It's complete BS. And then Kauben Chalam didn't make it to the stream as far as I've seen today, because also from the other side of the world, even if I have visitors from viewers from Hong Kong at the moment and the US. A quick naive question: what is to stop all the paperwork being forged? Veterinary standards, rules of origin, for instance? I'm sure there's a simple, embarrassing answer. Well, perhaps not embarrassing, but what is stopping you from doing that with other things all the time? It's the law, and it's the criminal law that stops you from doing this. And I just realized I forgot someone. All shorts. I've seen you several times on Max's live stream already, and I had a look at your channel as well. So good evening to you too. So, but going back to that, it's a criminal offense to forge papers. And if you do this, and if you get caught, as well as phytosanitary certificates, you go to prison if you do that. That's why most people won't do that. And that's the simple answer. And of course, probably will be banned from exporting to the EU again if they do that, or they will have searches of their stuff all the time. And there's another reason: if you do this properly for some time, and if they have trust in you, you get some relaxations on the paperwork because you are regarded as a trusted company. And those companies who reach that, who can get away from some red tape because of that, will not risk that by forging anything. And the others will just go to jail. And yeah, Christian, the EU is just on the brink of collapse. I have a video tomorrow. I don't know if the other one is. Yeah, it's the same I was talking about. Thanks to Brexit, it's called. That's a video I'm bringing tomorrow. And that's exactly about the topic, why Brexit, even if it also harms the EU, is a really good thing for the EU. But I won't tell you more now. You will have to see tomorrow yourselves. and of the brink of collapsing, that the countries are still queuing up to join the EU. Just to mention North Macedonia, Serbia, and some more who are further down the line, but yeah, we are breaking up soon. Then I have a question by Lloyd Gifford. Mark, might be a silly question, but how does Brexit affect UK business imports from China? And how does it affect individual UK customers who buy goods direct from Chinese sellers, if at all? The point there is it will definitely influence the UK business with China, because even if we got the new agreement with China as the EU on the end of last year, so UK never benefited from that one, we already had a lot of small treaties with China. Like with many other countries, as I said in many videos, the UK left around 750 treaties with Brexit, and with the end of the transition period, not before. And they made about 68, 70 new agreements. But they're still lacking 680 agreements the EU has with the rest of the world. And several of those are with China. I cannot now from my head tell you which details are affected there, but it will definitely have an impact because all those small things that were agreed are not put in any prolonged deals with China now from the UK side, and they still have to do that. And especially with the relationship between the UK and China at the moment, because of the Chinese television, because of the BBC, because of Hong Kong, it's probably a bit more complicated than what happened between the EU and China at the end of the year. And you are still at the phytosanitary certificates. Yeah, the UK side will start with that too, like with the environmental agency. That will be fun as well. I don't know if you've seen that video already. They don't even have one yet. And so, yeah. Theoretically or hypothetically, everyone can really be messy with the environment at the moment and cannot be punished because they haven't set up the agency yet. And yeah, the old thing, the countries that want to join will all be net recipients. Yeah, how many countries are there in Europe that would be net contributors? And just to remind some of you, there are countries in the European Union that were poorer before they joined. When they joined and started, they were net recipients. And today they are net contributors because being in the EU was so good for the country that they really developed into net contributors. And so it doesn't matter if a country is a net recipient when it joins. They have the chance to grow, and they have the chance to really live with the benefits from the European Union. And when we're there, I want to see, do I have this question or do I want to talk about this myself, because it always comes up again. Yeah, it was last time already, but I want to say this again. Many always come up with a thing that Scotland, an independent Scotland, would be that poor they would not be allowed to join the European Union. It is not about being a rich country or whatever. It's about certain values and standards you must show. And if there's one thing I'm absolutely sure about, because Scotland is so closely aligned still with the EU that the standards and values are that closely aligned that they even can quickly join the EU. And the other discussion will be about the debt. The UK is not a federal system like we have in Germany. So the legal question will be, how much debt could Scotland as a nation have gotten in the past, and they have to take when they leave, and stuff like this. Although the debt is not the big problem when you get started, the way you treat your customs, your tax system to be able to get your taxes when you join, and so on. You have to prove that you have the proper systems in place and stuff like this. But it's not that you have to be a country without debt and whatsoever. Look at some countries in the EU and their debt. So a quick look what discussion is going on there. Yeah, okay, Ukraine is not a candidate for several reasons at the moment. The whole Crimea problem has to be solved and so on. And Glasgow Kissen, independent Scotland can be debt-free, just needs a central bank. There's a lot of technical stuff that has to be done, but especially in the case of Scotland, I think that would be really easy if they would decide on doing that. I will have to have a look a little bit more in the future. Next week I'll try to do this, what is internally going on in the S&P at the moment, to get a better look on how probable it might be that they might leave. But that's always a mess when you are in some, let's say, campaigning, and internally in the party you have a lot of trouble. So that's not so funny. Then Katrina, I really can't do this. If you want me to do complete videos, you might suggest this, but I can't work with questions like this for a live stream. So I just want to mention one thing about this, about the whole thing with the Northern Ireland Protocol and the Act of Union and the DUP talking about this, going to court about this, and so on. I can't, sorry Katrina, I can't do this in that length. There's just one thing I want to mention about this. Because of the withdrawal agreement, for the next 4 years, that is, or almost 4 years, that is when the Northern Irish Assembly can decide if they want to get rid of the withdrawal agreement or if they want to keep it. Until that time, there are things in this withdrawal agreement where not the Irish courts, or not even the UK Supreme Court is responsible, but the ECJ. I know many Brexiteers never like those 3 letters, but the ECJ is still responsible for certain things out of the withdrawal agreement. And so that's another problem with the ideas of the DUP. They were not happy about the meeting between the UK and the EU last week. I made a video on that one, and they want to meet again on March, because they didn't rip off the whole withdrawal agreement, which would be stupid like hell, because it always also deals about the treatment of the UK citizens in the EU and the EU citizens in the UK, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, no, Ireland was always complicated, Katrina, but I'm sorry, I do need shorter questions. And the same one goes in this case for Christian. He asked a question about the Russian question with the Baltic states. And Russia might want to make up some trouble if countries like Georgia, Moldova, or Ukraine want to join the EU. First of all, those are not candidates that are on the immediate list. That's the first thing. And Yeah, I don't know why the microphone is doing that. As I said, I was filming today with it and was absolutely fine. That annoys me as much as it annoys you, even if I can't hear myself at the moment. Let's try it again. I was with Georgia, Moldova, Ukraine. The EU has to deal with Russia at the moment, and they were putting up new sanctions last week. You know that I do have a European politics channel and a global politics channel, and on my European politics channel I had a video on the conference where they talked about the sanctions again against several people from countries, and Russia was part of it again. Certain people in Russia have gotten sanctions put upon them because they're involved in stuff like the Navalny case or trouble with the Ukraine and so on. And the sanctions because of the Ukraine have not been lifted either. So they know how to deal with Russia in that way, and it's always will be more effective if it's on the economic side than anything else. Nobody wants any military action or whatever. It's completely improbable that something like this would happen. And just to go to your last sentence, nobody allows the EU to have anyone join or not. The EU is deciding that, and the now 27 members of the EU are deciding on that one. Then there's a question from John 1319. Hello Mark, no one is talking about the 60 billion that the United Kingdom has to pay to the EU. Do you have any information about this debt? Regards. Well, about this debt, yes. About the 60 billion, not so much, because the bill has not been written yet. In the withdrawal agreement, there is a date for this for the time after the transition period. So we will not know exact figures before March, because March is mentioned in the withdrawal agreement as the point of time when there will be a proper bill from the EU to the UK. And so I can say I know about this debt. It's not a debt, it's just the fees, their commitment to European long-term projects. They can't just run away from because they signed treaties there and they are still running a little bit and stuff like that. And so that's why they also took some time in the withdrawal agreement to properly calculate, and let's not call it debt, let's call it commitment, what the UK still has to pay to the EU. But the proper numbers we will get in March. That was the date mentioned in the withdrawal agreement. But they still have to pay, yeah. Besides all the costs they had to pay for the consequences of Brexit so far. Oh yeah, and because of the microphone thingy here. In the long term, I'm getting a microphone for the desk now. I was filming standing for a long time, but now with live streams and so I don't do that anymore. But that was why I always used these lavalier microphones, and it was the easiest thing to do because of the, let's say, sound of this room. I still have to make some changes here. I still haven't properly done some more on the other side of the camera because I'm still working on the basement issue. For those who haven't been there to get this, my basement was flooded with all my neighbors' basement 2 weeks ago, and I'm still working on the consequences there. That's why I haven't continued renovating the studio. That's another sound thingy. And this technique is a little bit expensive. So as I still have to save some money for buying more technical stuff for this. I need a different camera because with a phone I can't send anything from screen over to you. I'm live streaming via the phone at the moment. So I can't just put in some articles or whatever. That's what I would want to do in the future as well. But I then want to have a proper camera. I started here with a very cheap one, and then using OBS and all this stuff. But that will all cost a lot. No, dude, I'm sorry, but I tested those. An $80 microphone won't do. I've tested a lot of microphones when some of the lavalier ones broke, and no, I'm honestly saving money at the moment for the future to buy more equipment, but I won't start with that stuff again. I've sent too many of those back. Dude, I just bought another computer. That's why I'm doing the live streams, because my laptop was broken and I'm not putting my desktop from one side to another. That's why I have to save money now, because I just bought another laptop, and with doing editing in the future with 4K and stuff like this, I needed a proper one, and that was quite expensive. And it is still a hobby. Don't forget that one. So then I have a question from Amadeus again, or two questions. The first one is, in general, how do Germans view Scotland as opposed to England? I'm quite sure the majority of the population doesn't view them completely at all. They really, if they have been for holidays there, they like it. If they haven't been to holidays there, they probably have no real feelings about this. So it's not such a big issue. If they have personal relations to one side, like I have friends in the UK, my step-grandfather was from Scotland, and yeah, of course, I always had some kind of relationship to the UK. My uncle is from England. Friends of mine are from Ireland and Northern Ireland as well, now living in the UK. But not many people here have that, except those with the relationships from the time in North Rhine-Westphalia when the British troops were stationed here, we had the connection and so on. But the majority of the people doesn't even think about this, I guess. And the second question is, how would you argue against Brexiteers say that an independent Scotland would never be able to join the EU? That was the question I was looking for earlier. An independent Scotland would be able to join the EU like any other country. They have to apply. They will have to go through the 35 protocols. And as I said before, they have to fulfill certain values, certain standards. And sorry, in case Scotland really will become independent, they will have it much easier to join the EU than many other countries before, because they are still closely aligned to EU standards and so on. Dano, thank you very much for the microphone fund. It was not meant that way. I really meant I'm saving for that, so I was not asking you to do that, but it's really kind of you to start a microphone fund here. It's just a matter of time. No, I said saving because I have some other projects as well. You will see next week that's something will be here on my shelves, which I won't sell, by the way, which is for certain patriots. I'm doing a lot of voluntary work and have been designing games we gave to schools as political education, for example, and stuff like this. And I decided to do some of those games on the topics I'm talking about on this channel as well. And but I won't sell them as merch. They are produced at the moment, the first ones for me personally, and I'll have some for certain patrons in the future. but they cost money as well. So that's where I started, and not with a microphone now. So yeah, but still, thank you, Dano. But I was still with Scotland. If Scotland will or should decide to become independent, it is their decision. Son of Viking, thank you. Now he has another super chat with please buy more static, it adds to the atmosphere. Yeah, and my voice is a little bit sore at the moment as well, and I don't know why. Although it got colder in Germany. It was 20 degrees a few days ago. But I really got distracted from Scotland again. We will see how that works out. I can imagine they might have a referendum, despite all the legal challenges. And I think they might even have a result, a significant result for independence. But nothing is done until it's done. Everybody believed the Brexit referendum would turn out totally differently. So we have to wait for that one. But if that happens, Scotland will be in the EU, and there's Peter Tiffany, the Spain and Catalan thing is a propaganda lie that is spread by Brexiteers all the time, and that is just that, a simple lie. Catalonia is a completely different case than Scotland, because Scotland is a nation Catalonia never was. And Spain made it explicitly clear that they will not veto Scotland joining the EU. That was made absolutely clear. And no matter how often Brexiteers spread that lie, it won't be true. And there is a lot of support in the EU in case Scotland is independent. If they want to join, they will have a lot of support, and Spain will not veto it. And then I have a question from KFHROE about the topic I just want to quickly talk about. I would like to ask your opinion about the EU action to force banks to keep derivatives clearing in EU into the bloc. There's the problem in the question already. The EU action is not forcing the banks to keep that clearing into the EU. An extension with an exception for British banks that they are still allowed to do this will run out. But that's another thing with the propaganda wording all the times. The EU is not forcing anything, and the governor of the Bank of England, Andrew Bailey, did the same this week, because it is a 735 trillion euro business. Of course they're angry that this will leave the UK in time and will be treated in the EU. But that is a business that belongs into the EU. And while the UK was a member, it was okay that it was in the UK. And now, after the transition period, there is an extension with a... oh my God, now I've forgot the English words. I use that word all the time, and now I really forgot that one. Well, they are allowed to do this for another 18 months. And for that time, they have the equivalence given by the EU. But after the 18 months, that will stop, and that will have to stop. And that is not forcing anything back, that is just ending another exception. We're talking, in the case of the UK, a lot about exceptions. And this is another one. It's an exception that they still got equivalence for euro clearing. And that will just run out. So they don't force anything back, like these people always say. the same nonsense hear about all the time. The propaganda apparatus is working well at the time on the Brexiteer side, obviously, but still, they're not forcing anything. Just the exception will run out and it will naturally return to the EU. That's it. And this is a very big part of financial services. And of course, that will hurt a lot. And of course, because of that, the governor of the Bank of England really doesn't like to see that. And that's why he talked to MPs on the Treasury Select Committee that the EU will put pressure now on banks. We don't know where this will end, which banks will take that over, which financial centers. Everybody thought it will be Frankfurt or Paris. And in the end, in some other cases, we already saw Amsterdam is playing a role as well, because the most traded EU stocks were in Amsterdam. And so Paris, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, Dublin, they are all in the game for that. And that will not happen all in one city, I'm quite sure. It will happen in several of them, but they are preparing that. Peter Tiffany, what you write all the time is just propaganda, and I can point it out the way it is. You're just a troll, and that's why this is now the last time I'm answering to you. I know you from my channel, and you are just nothing but a troll with spreading propaganda all the time, and that's it. The other topic I wanted to talk about, because it's really serious and I started really preaching in one of tomorrow's videos when I filmed them today, is the topic with the vaccines, and especially the thing with AstraZeneca at the moment going on in Germany. Tomorrow I will talk about that. The head of the commission, of the vaccination commission in Germany, talked about the AstraZeneca, about the thing with the over 65s, but I just wanted to make one thing clear today. If a vaccine is certified in the EU, and in this case also certified in Germany, because we have a commission there as well, of course, it is safe to take it. We have people that got panicked because of social media, and there's the social media problem again. And those people spreading propaganda either way. And I have to say, spreading bullshit all the way. AstraZeneca is not dangerous. It was just not certified for people over 65 for technical reasons, because there was not the amount of data the commissions needed to certify it. Period. That's all. It was not. It was dangerous for older people. It was just not. Give me 1 second. The troll went too far. And now he's gone. There was just not enough data on the AstraZeneca vaccine that time to certify it for people over 65. Also had an advantage, because we had the BioNTech and the Moderna vaccine in Germany for the people 80 plus. And with the AstraZeneca, we could start vaccinating the personnel directly working with these 80 plus people. That means the people in the that are working in senior care, that are working in intensive care, that are working in the hospitals. And we got a head start on those group of people now because of the AstraZeneca, and that it was not certified for 65 plus. But it will be, because now the data is there. And I'm saying this in my long preaching video tomorrow. Every vaccine that is certified here, you can take it. If it's at the moment in Germany or in the EU, it is BioNTech Pfizer, it is Moderna, and it is AstraZeneca. It will soon also be Johnson & Johnson as far as I know, and Sputnik V is being checked at the moment as well. As soon as the Commission says it's safe, then take it. I will take whatever they offer me when it's my time to do that. By the way, you are from many different countries. Has anyone of you been vaccinated already? I made the appointment for a very good friend of mine. She's 80 years old, and I'm doing her shopping every week because her family lives in the UK, and I don't want her to be in danger with the supermarkets and stuff. So for a long time, I'm doing her shopping, and I took care that she gets the appointment via our computer system and so on, you know, 80 plus on computer systems. So I took care of this. What a bullshit. So she got her appointment, she got vaccinated without any problems at all. She got her first shot, and the second shot she'll have on Thursday. But she had no problem with it at all. I really don't know what the microphone thing is. I have this same shirt as for other live streams. I have the same microphone. That's a complete mess today. No, it's not only because of the age. That's why I was asking, because some countries already vaccinated a lot of people. Maybe some of you are in the in some jobs you could get vaccinated already, and so on. That's why I asked. Because some colleagues of mine have been vaccinated too already, and they are just 22 or something, because they are in the jobs doing that. Yeah, Glasgow, I know, that's why I'm not even talking to him. He's showing up all the time. So, but what I wanted to say about this, if there are people living in Germany here at the moment, and the next one's gone. I just want that people who live in Germany, for example, who have the same thing going on in their country about the AstraZeneca vaccine, it is not a problem to take this. And what I don't want is the vaccination thing to be instrumentalized by politics. I said that in a lot of videos already, and I still don't want this. And I will be preaching again tomorrow in a video, because I filmed that already and I know, but that's why I wanted to bring this up. Don't use this for politics, and especially don't, I won't cure the Brexiteers from using that as propaganda, but don't do this. It's too serious a question. But still. So, that was what I really want to talk about today. The questions are done. Today's a little bit quicker than usually. We don't feed the trolls. I kicked some today, so some are gone, so don't worry. And I will keep it short today. Next week we will see how it will have gone further with vaccination and stuff like this. There will be some decisions about certain things. I really say you should watch my video tomorrow, thanks to Brexit, to see why it still has advantages for the EU that we had Brexit, and about and especially for the future of the EU, but also for decisions at the end of last year. It's really funny. You want to hug, Glasgow? Next time. So, have fun, everyone. As I said, I keep it short today, and especially now, I want to know what that is with that microphone. will be a little bit longer next week. Don't forget to ask your questions from tomorrow on my community tab for next week. And then, well, Fußgruß, yeah. Dano, that one you got really a lot from my video this week. But we really did this all the time. So thanks very much. Sorry for the microphone thing. I will sort that out. I have to find out what that was. And then we'll see us again tonight at 10 p.m. in my video. And in person, hopefully, kill a troll. In person then again on my live stream next Sunday. Auf jeden Fall, auf Wiedersehen.